risk his neck for his brother, man.
Chef! Don't you enjoy, Chris Arps, watching the worms on the left twist in the wind like that, who came out and called claims of wiretapping baseless, and they've spent, ever since that tweet came out, they've spent all those months deriding this president for suggesting he was wiretapped. But if you carefully read the wording that Donald Trump used in that tweet on March 4th, he knew about this. He just didn't want to be the one that let it out. Just found out Obama had my wires tapped, in parentheses, in Trump Tower just before the victory. Nothing found. This is McCarthyism. Paul Manafort lived in Trump Tower, about 20 floors below Donald Trump. He knew what happened because he had access to it once he became president.
Yeah. A lot of strong Trump supporters have said that a lot of the things that he does may seem kind of unorthodox, but there is a method to the madness and there's an ultimate strategy. When that tweet first came out, it was hard for me to believe that he would say something like that without some type of proof. And I think that maybe he is as smart as a fox in this instance. He knew this was going to happen. He let it play out, and then, months later, he sounds vindicated. So I have to give the president props on this one.
He knew it would come out at some point, and it would vindicate him, and he is absolutely right. Yeah. Because, as much as Susan Rice and the others have denied that they would ever do something like that for political purposes, you don't have to wiretap the president if you wiretap his campaign manager, right?
Exactly.
So that's just, at that point, you're playing guardhouse lawyer. That's all that boils down to. And I just wanted to get that out there because the media they finally got around to asking the question last night. It wasn't what they led with. They wanted to lead with the insinuation that Paul Manafort's about to be indicted and they're trying to put the screws to him so he'll turn state's witness to unveil whatever this Russian collusion story was. The wheels of justice don't move that slow. This has been going on for a year. If he'd said something on the phone 10, 12 months ago, before the administration was even sworn in, that would have led to some sort of criminal connection to Russia, do you not think that James Comey and the FBI wouldn't have pushed for that before he was sworn in? They don't have anything. Yeah. They're digging for bones. That's all they're doing right now.
It is. Before we go further, I want to give a shout out, if I can, to the Lewis and Clark Pachyderm Club. They had me out speaking last night, so I wanted to say hello to Dan Rakers, club president, Cindy and Dave Evans, big conservative listeners. They told me to tell you hello.
Awesome.
And they said
Thank
next
you.
time, please have Marc come and you stay at home.
Oh, stop. Stop.
But yeah, I had a good time out there. Out
Glad
there in O'Fallon.
Out in O'Fallon.
Yeah,
good. Well, good. I'm glad you got to get out and do that.
listeners.
There you go. Did you hand out T-shirts or anything?
I didn't have anything.
You should have asked us.
We could have give me a box of T-shirts. I'll throw them in the car.
So you brought this up a minute ago, and it was kind of breaking news to me. I had not heard this. The president put DACA on 6 months' notice that he was ending it. Congress is talking about a DACA plan. Nancy Pelosi gets shouted down. I've got that sound for you here, too, because that's a sweet bit of irony. Yeah. But now you're telling me that the NAACP is joining the lawsuit to stop DACA from ending.
Yes, that was announced this morning that the National Association of the Advancement for Colored People is joining a lawsuit to stop to protect illegal aliens that are in this country that are taking Americans' jobs. That's how I always view it. And if you'll indulge me for just a second, it's amazing to me that they're putting time and energy into trying to save these illegals when we have issues like this within our community. Since 2000, the African-American household income has dropped $2,000. Homicide is the #1 cause of death for male ages 15 to 34. In New York City, we had more abortions than live births by 5,000 babies, and African-Americans have the lowest high school dropout rate among the races. We have serious chronic problems within our community, and it just astounds me that they want to put time and resources in trying to protect illegal aliens when we have every night in North St. Louis 2 or 3 murders.
Did you mean to say they have the highest dropout rate?
Yes.
Yeah, the highest.
I'm sorry, high school graduation, the lowest
high school graduation rate.
69%.
Okay, all right. Yeah, that is pretty amazing. I mean, I guess you could argue that they're just teaming up with a liberal ally and chiming in a friend of the court type thing, but or maybe they're trying to expand their base a little bit.
I don't understand how giving illegals work permits expands the economic pie and helps this statistic where I read that the median household income for African Americans has dropped $2,500 since 2000. I don't know how 200,000 or 800,000 illegal aliens helps with that statistic.
No, that doesn't help with it at all, and it's craziness. I don't know about you. I know we're going to talk about the Stockley case here in a minute, but I enjoyed the irony the other night of these folks on the left who are just so blinded by their kumbaya ideology that they can't see the truth right in front of their face. Mayor Crewson comes out, calls for peace, calls for understanding, yada, yada, yada. And then these people turn around and they throw bricks at her house and they mark it up with red paint and all this stuff. They specifically targeted. They knew it was her house and they targeted it. They had it in mind already. That biting the hand that's feeding them, right? They go into the Central West End and they tear up the windows of where they've got probably the most support in the city is in that corridor.
In the loop, too.
And in the loop.
That's what I was saying.
And they're shutting down businesses that serve their own folks, right? The people, and it's not a black and white issue. I think I probably saw as many white protesters the other night in the video I saw it from the news stations as I did blacks. There's a diverse crowd down there protesting.
I have to say this, that these protests at the beginning are markedly different from Ferguson. These protests, these people have learned that we have to separate ourselves from the hooligans and the thugs that are coming out at night.
The night shift.
So at 6:30, 7 o'clock, they're clocking out and saying, "Hey, we're done. Come back tomorrow morning." And that helps a little bit to separate themselves from their for these other folks.
Do you know what I found out the other day? Were you watching? Might have been Sunday when the group marched onto the campus of St. Louis University. Did you see that?
I read about it.
They marched on to the campus of St. Louis University with a list of demands. And among their demands, now bear in mind, SLU is a private Jesuit college in St. Louis that has, to the best of my knowledge, no connection to number one, the St. Louis Police Department, or number two, Officer Jason Stockley, or number three, Anthony Lamar Smith. He was never a student there that I'm aware of, unless I think he went to the School of Hard Knocks, I'm pretty sure. What they went onto that campus and demanded, among other things, was a guarantee of a free college tuition for Anthony Lamar Smith's daughter. What possible responsibility would St. Louis University have for the daughter of a heroin dealer who got killed in an interaction with police? Why would they think they could demand that from the university? And if the university's stupid enough to cave into it, like Mizzou was down there to all those demands, then they deserve exactly what they get.
Well, in defense, I don't really see anything wrong with a scholarship. Demanding it, I have a problem with that. But if St. Louis University wanted to offer that, or someone asked in a diplomatic way, why don't we do this? I don't have a problem with that. And I don't think you can hold the daughter responsible.
I don't. But the city already paid her $900,000.
Yeah, I forgot
to pay for her own college.
Yeah,
Jesus,
I forgot about the settlement.
I'm just telling you.
Never mind.
Thank you. That's all right. Yeah, she got $900,000 in the bank, and these protesters are demanding that she get a free college education.
Can we erase the tape?
At SLU.
Can we erase the tape?
Can we go back and erase the tape?
Okay,
yeah,
great,
I know.
Great.
All right, let me get to a break real quick. There's something else I want to point out to you. It gets to the reason that we're in the situation we're in today. And why these kids think they can act like this. And we've got several generations of them now. 314-969-9797. Marc Cox here, back with Chris Arps right after this.
This is the Marc Cox Show. Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling. Weather with Dave Murray.
88 for the high with moderate to high humidity. Tonight, clear skies, only 70 for the low. Wednesday and Thursday, it's the